guys, welcome back to the Totally Worth It podcast, episode number 10. Maybe we have made it 10 episodes. Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Unbelievable.
It doesn't feel like we've done this 10 times.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But
feels like maybe 4 times.
4 times. Yeah. We were just talking to somebody the other night about how it gets easier as you go.
Yeah.
It feels real nice now.
Yeah, it does. Especially now that we finally have it mostly figured out.
Mostly?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know. This is fine.
Yeah.
I'm still going to do some stuff to the room.
Yeah. So what she's talking about is our room. We talked a couple episodes ago. Was that last episode where we were talking about the chairs in the room?
We've talked about it throughout.
Yeah, we've talked about it throughout. So at episode 20, we're going to transition to video and audio. So it'll be on YouTube as well. And in order to do that, we have to have a place to do it and to film it. So we've been working on getting our spare bedroom ready and kind of turned into our own little podcast studio. And we've been arguing nonstop over...
Not really arguing. We've just been having conversations.
Conversations, we'll call it that, quote unquote. Over the chairs, the look, how we're going to see it, what's going to be in the video, is there going to be a lamp, is there going to be a table, what angle is it going to be at, which side is she going to sit on, which side am I going to sit on, and it has been non-stop and so many non-negotiables.
It has to be right or I'm not going to do it at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand that. I do. Because I want it to look good too. You know, if we're putting it out there.
If you're not going to do something 100%, why are you doing it at all?
True story. True story. I agree with you, my dear. But today she already does not like our dining room table.
No, I love it.
No, I'm saying for the space that we have in our dining room.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't work in the dining room that we have.
So I told her, I said, we'll check. So we bought the chairs.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. We bought the chairs, and then we put the chairs in here in front of the wall that we painted. And then we sat there, did some recording, looked at it, and she was
so close.
She was like, "No, let me go to the other side." And so we went to the other side, and she was like, "No, I don't like that either." And then I was like, "What if we put them on the other side of the room?"
And then
in front of the wall that we didn't paint.
I'm like, then we just painted a wall for no reason.
So we moved the chairs. We moved the couch out of this room, put it in our daughter's room. So now she got a free couch out of it, which is crazy. Tried it over there. Didn't like it.
It was just so close. This room is not that big. And when you switch to video, especially on an iPhone, it's like zoomed in times 10. And I'm like, yo, back up. I can't do this. And then if you zoom out, it's not...
as clear or something. Well, on my phone, the camera that zooms out is like broken or cracked or something. Yeah. But so long story short, we took the dining room table, brought it in here, and turned it long ways. And which is also, if you'll go back like 3 or 4 episodes, and I haven't said anything to her about this yet, but I just want to revel in it for a moment that I had this idea already, and I pitched it to her. And I said no. She said, absolutely not. What she said, and I quote, what are we, newscasters?
Well, that was, in my mind, I was thinking about we're going to have it this way, and we were going to be behind it.
But then I explained it to you, and I was like, no, we're going to do it long ways. And she was like, no, it's going to be all the way across the room, and you're not going to be able to walk by it. And like it was like the table from the Lord's Supper or something. The table's not.
I don't know. This room isn't that big.
But it's bigger than you think.
It is. But
it's bigger than you think.
Okay. Anyways.
But anyway, long story short, we got it set up. We took our dining room table, brought it in here.
Now we don't have a dining room table.
Now we don't have a dining room table, but we do have a table to do our podcast on. Yeah. We've got the soundboard and everything on it, and it just seems clean.
Yeah,
it seems very. Maybe I'll post a picture of it on the Facebook or something.
It's not ready yet.
It's not ready yet. But we can still give a sneak peek, though.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I will fight for you guys.
They don't care.
They don't care. No one cares. No one cares. That's not true. Only partially true. Because I care. We care. Anyway, so a lot of work been going on recently.
Yeah.
I've been at work a lot. We've had a busy week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week about busy family life, and kind of wanted to touch a little bit this week on family time.
Yeah.
So when you do have the time off and you do get to the place where you and your family can do things together, what does that look like? What does that look like for us?
Yeah. Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you. What does that normally look like for us?
Well, I mean...
Because everybody's different.
I don't know. I mean, most of the time we're either outside around here trying to do something, working on something, letting Joe
some project
drive her big old side by side that she got for Christmas. When it's
okay, real quick, back up. First off, our almost 3-year-old daughter does not have a whole side by side. Just
it's
for
a
explanation.
Kid version.
I got you. I just wanted to clear that up in case anybody.
Well, everybody keeps calling it a Jeep, but it's not a Jeep. It's like a kid
it's
side by side.
It's a little miniature side by side that's electric.
Okay. Anyways.
Anyway, I just didn't want to sound rich or something.
No, we're definitely not. Or we're grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe go out to dinner.
Yeah.
And it's usually we either go out to dinner and we do lunch at home, or we'll go out to lunch and then cook at home. But
yeah, we're normally at least one meal out kind of people.
When you're off, at least.
When I'm off, yeah. We do a lot of
cooking.
We do a lot of cooking, which is funny because people always say, like, I need to stop going out to eat. I need to eat at home more. I need to be that person. And I feel you because I love to cook. And somewhere in me, I feel like, gosh, we still need to eat at home more. But we really do eat at home a lot.
Yeah.
We cook a lot.
Because, I mean, depending on your work week, you might have, 3 days off or 4 days off or something at some point. I don't know.
And just let me tell y'all, this woman, Haley, is the queen of the crock pot. She could take a boot and sit it in the crock pot, and 8 hours later, she'd have it poured over rice. And it would just be the best thing you've ever had. But that's not like a magical thing.
Like, I'm not some great cook. Like,
but you can't.
Anybody can use a crock pot.
That's not true. It's not true. Some people can go get stuff and put it in the crock pot, and it's nasty. It does take some knowledge and some work. Okay. Or it takes some failures. Which you really haven't had a lot of.
No.
Since we've been together.
I just feel like it's not that hard.
To you, maybe.
Because to me, a crock pot
then why if it's not that hard, then why are people constantly looking up what to make in a crock pot? Because they're tired of the old stuff they make, because maybe it's not that good.
Yeah. I mean, we have our set meals.
We keep making the same things. You know why? Because they're good.
Yeah. I guess I'll give myself credit for that. I don't
she
cook and
cooks
grill
other
and stuff,
things, but
I have mastered the crock pot and I have mastered the sides.
Yeah. It's not really one of those things for us like that you like can't cook or something. It's just that I prefer to do.
You're good at it and you enjoy doing it.
Do.
So when you're off, you genuinely want to cook. And I can cook, and I guess I would say I'm good at it, but I just don't love to do it. So if somebody else is like, I'll cook, please. Yeah. Go right ahead. But if it comes down to it, I'm going to eat. Like, I know how to cook.
Yeah, of course.
So.
I'm with you on that. I do love to cook.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of that at home, and we, what else do we do? What does our family time consist of?
Our family time is going to Sam's Club. Honestly.
Our family time consists of a lot of leaving the house, and it really just, I ain't going to say it really, but there is a portion of it that I just simply cannot stand.
I know.
I hate it. And that kind of leads into the next thing is like, I'm curious that if any of the listeners, if your family time, maybe from the man or from the woman, does it sometimes like do you love to go out and do things, or do you love to stay at home and do things? Because I love to stay at home and do things.
But you have to have things to do at home. And when I'm at home, it ends up being a project or something I have to clean.
But that's because you make it a project.
No.
Yeah. But we could just be at home, you know?
Yeah, but like in my mind, I'm home all the time.
Yeah. And that's the struggle because you've spent so much time here with Joe. And y'all, now, granted, I say that, but there's a lot of days where y'all go and y'all gone and gone.
Yeah,
and gone
specifically because you're sleeping and we're trying not to wake you up.
Yeah, and I appreciate that deeply. But like it's just different with me because I'm at work a majority of the time, and then when I get off and I want to come home and be with my family at home at the house that we haven't long bought,
and then
I
we're
just
ready
want
to
to
go.
be here, and then y'all are like, "Hey, let's go to Walmart for no reason," you know.
I
That's
like
crazy to me.
Joe is so social, and I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but if she has not left the house at least once, she's like
I know.
a crazy
She's
person.
like a little Haley.
But even if it's just like to go outside and walk to the mailbox, like she just, and I feel like everybody is like that to some extent. Like we all need and want. Well, some people don't want to, but
I guess I didn't grow up in a family like that. That's not how we operated.
Like
when I was little, like we just didn't. It wasn't like everybody's off day where we're rolling up out of here and going and doing something. Like we just wanted to be at home and do stuff and like play outside and just be there and not have anything to do. Because when we go somewhere, and my mind is so sour when it comes to this because I think too much into these things.
Yeah.
And whenever we go, as soon as when you hear someone say, "Let's go to Sam's Club," you picture immediately in your mind walking through Sam's Club, looking at stuff, and how much you love to do that.
Yeah.
And when someone tells me, "Let's go to Sam's Club," I think to myself immediately in my mind, I'm going down a list. Is it raining outside? I'm going to have to drive all the way there. When we get there, I'm going to have to find a place to park. Then when I have to do that, we're going to have to get everybody out. We're going to have to check Joe's diaper and make sure she hadn't pooped in it. Then we're going to have to go in and then walk around the store. I'm already tired because I worked for like 2 or 3 days. And then I open my eyes and you're like, "So you ready to go?"
That is so...
I know it's terrible because there are many, many days where I love going places with y'all. I do. I promise you I do.
You don't act like it.
No, but I don't act like it sometimes. But you got to give me some times to be sour.
I do, and especially like now that I work and that I'm gone some.
Yeah,
you have plenty of time at home now.
I know, but I'm not talking about time with just myself. I'm talking about time with...
You don't have time by yourself. You have time with Joe at home.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I don't...
And it's so much fun, and I love it.
I don't want to be home. Because when I'm home, there is something that needs my attention that has to be done. Yeah. And when I'm home, I feel like I got to freaking do it. I can't just be at home and be lazy.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I can.
I know, man. And that is just
if you went on a week vacation with your friends and you left...
This house would be a disaster.
If Joe was like at grandparents or something, if you left and I was sitting on the couch when you left, I might get up 3 times over those 7 days.
No.
And those are for 3 showers over 7 days, maybe.
No. I love my home. Yeah. And I do love being home.
Yeah.
But I can't be in a house 24/7. And when you have a toddler, your house feels so much smaller.
Yeah.
Because
not to mention we live in a single one.
And I think that's another part of it is I get so tired of cleaning up mess after mess in this room to this room to this room to this room. Forget it. Just get in the car. Let's go somewhere.
When you go in public, somebody else has to clean it up.
No, not necessarily. I clean up her messes still. But it's a different environment. It gets her distracted. She likes to talk to people. She likes to look at things. And here's the big kicker.
Yeah.
I can go somewhere all day long and not spend money.
Yeah, in my mind, just thinks, then why go?
It's just to get out of the house. It's insanity.
Yeah, and I can see how it is insanity.
And a lot of my friends are like, "How do you do that?" Like, well, if I go somewhere with somebody and they're like, "We're gonna go in here," and I'm like, "Okay," and I might leave with like one thing, and they've got like a buggy full of stuff.
That's a talent.
And they're like, "I wish I could be like you," and I'm like, "One, I'm just broke, and we budget very well, but 3." Getting out of the house is enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't have to like spend $500. Would I like to? Sure.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to. I might spend $20 on something, but I would rather just get out and be. That's why I
don't know. I feel like it's just one of those things that I'm just constantly trying to adapt to in my life.
Yeah. Well, I just really genuinely think it wouldn't be near as bad if you were not on night shift.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. For sure, I agree with you.
Because then I would be gone during the day, you'd be gone during the day, we'd come home, you're at home the rest of the evening.
Yeah. I 100%
But now,
agree.
when you come home, we're all asleep.
Yeah.
So it's not the same.
Yeah.
Whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like in my mind, I think that there is a spot in your mind that thinks that when I leave to go to work, that subconsciously sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, subconsciously in the back of your mind, because I feel the same way sometimes, that in the back of your mind you think, yeah, he's leaving to go to work, but at the same time he's also just going to ride around for 12 hours.
No.
You know? I mean, I know that you know what I do, but sometimes if you and Joe are here and you're dealing with her and cleaning and doing this and that and this and that, you just cannot tell me that you don't think to yourself sometimes, he's out there and not having to do this.
Yeah, it's not so much he's not doing anything. It's just he's not having to deal with this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, give me the car. I'll go. What's the address where I got to go? Let me handle it.
That's hilarious. I would pay so much money. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I would pay so much money to see that.
Yeah. So, okay. Kind of with that same topic, but not, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
When you have the option, are you a take the kids with you and go, or are you a let's do it by ourselves person? Go ahead.
I would say I'm about a 50-50.
Yeah.
It depends on what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
If it's on the weekend, leave the kid at grandma's. If it's during the week, take her with us.
Yeah.
Because on the weekend, things are busy in public.
Yeah.
And I don't like having her in busy environments.
Yeah.
If it's during the week, there ain't going to be no wait time at the restaurant. I'm not going to have to sit.
I'm not even talking about food.
I know that, but
like
all my brain thinks about is food. So I'm just thinking through that.
No, I'm talking about like going places, like going out of town, going overnight trips, anything. Oh. You're always the leave her person.
No, I'm not always. If it's something that I haven't did in a long time, yes, I want to go do it with just us first. But if it's something like, going to, like tomorrow, if you woke up and you were like, hey, let's go to Carowinds, I'm not going to say, let's leave Joe at home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to want to take her.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about some people listening. Do you prefer, and obviously you're supposed to say you prefer to travel with your kids. What do you think? How do you feel about it?
I feel like initially I'm like, yeah, let's plan it out and go by ourselves. But then as soon as I say that, I'm like, no, I want her to experience that too.
Every trip we have ever been on, as soon as we pull out of the driveway from leaving her, you say,
We should have just took her.
I miss her already.
And it's not even the like miss her part.
And then I'm
it's
shortly
just
behind
that
you
I
with that.
want her to grow up and say, my parents took me everywhere. I saw all these places. I did all these things. Even if she doesn't remember it, we still have those memories and those pictures of her at the beach or at the mountains or, you know, like going down this snow tube or just anything.
Yeah.
And I
feel
always
the same
want
way.
to take her.
I feel the same way about doing things with her.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do them with her if you don't have her.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not talking about going and doing stuff. I'm talking about, like, stuff here. Like, you know, cooking.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I will say that is one thing that is y'all's.
Yeah.
She is going to grow up the rest of her life.
My baby's going to know how to cook.
Not even know how to cook, but she's going to look back on that and be like, my daddy taught me how to do that. Or I remember cooking with my dad.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be y'all's things.
That's going to make me cry.
She is, but you're good at it. Like, you have more patience with her.
Yeah.
Over a hot stove and a butcher knife.
Yeah.
Than you do with her.
You gotta learn somehow.
Yeah, but you have more patience with all of these dangerous things happening than you do with her, like with crayons on the floor.
Yeah.
That's the wild part to me. And then I'm like, she can do whatever she wants with these crayons, but like, put that knife down. Don't touch that.
And I'm like, relax. We got it.
I don't have the patience to cook with her. Yeah. I don't.
There's seasonings everywhere, and she's slinging salt and pepper.
And she's everywhere. Like patting raw meat, seasoning stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, we gotta wash
salmonella. It's funny, but you got to learn somehow. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
I know, and I know that she's gonna love you for that. Like when she grows up and thinks back on her childhood, like, oh, my dad let me do this, because I remember being like that with my grandma.
Yeah,
and I looking. Now that I am an adult and have my own child, I don't know. I can't cook with Joe. It stresses me out so bad. Like yesterday, I cooked scrambled eggs and fried bologna for breakfast, and she was like, "I'm gonna climb up here and help you." And I swear, she was like this close to touching the stove burner, and I like picked her up and threw her. I was like, "You've got to just go." I can't. I want to be that mom that can cook with their kids, and I can't. Like, you're going to have to give her all the recipes.
I will. I promise you I will. My mom did that for me.
I have lots of patience with... I ain't got a lot of patience. That was a lie, so please forgive me. But I have grown to have a lot more patience of having a toddler.
Sure. You have to.
In every other aspect of everything.
Yeah.
Except the kitchen. I can't.
Yeah, we have a good time when we do that.
Yeah.
Wow. What were we talking about? Traveling with and without kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm still stuck with the 50-50. I do love a good trip with just me and you, though.
Yeah.
I do love her to death, but if we're going to do anything that's like super nice, I don't want her there.
Okay, so this isn't on our list, but this just popped into my head that I want to discuss with you. So I have seen on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, all of these, I guess they're just people. I mean, I don't think they have degrees of any sorts.
Yeah.
But they post about tips for, a healthy marriage, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And they're always like, you should have one date night a week. You should have one weekend a month. You should take one week a year. And, like, it's just all these things that, I mean, you're supposed to do. And I'm like, how?
Where's there a nanny?
Do y'all have live-in nannies? Because, like, first of all, possible. Your work schedule does not allow for one date night a week. And I get it, like a date. I feel like date nights for us are like sitting on the couch watching The Bachelor and eating ice cream. Dude. And that's fine. But when it's like, when I read you should take a weekend trip, it was like once a month or every 3 months. And I'm like, first of all, where y'all get the money to do this? Second of all, who watches your kid? Because if you already having to have somebody to watch your kid one night during the week, and then you're going to go on one weekend out of a month, and then you're going to leave them for 1 week out of a year. I've never left Joe for a week.
Yeah.
Like, that has to be for people that have, like, 15-year-olds.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Because
when Joe's 15, she's getting left, bro.
That is just not...
She's getting left.
That's just not even fathomable.
Probably not. I'll still probably have her with us. If she wants to come with us. If she doesn't, she's going to have to go to grandparents.
I don't understand that. And everybody's sharing it. It's like, oh, we always make time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, there's other ways to make time than going on overnight trips once a month.
We got the money to do that.
One, we don't have the money. And two, like, who has weekends like that? You know?
Nobody. I mean, apparently somebody does, but it ain't us. Yeah. When we get a weekend off, it's like once a year. We've got to go to Sam's Club. We've got to go get toilet paper. We've got to do something. Yeah, we've got somewhere to go and something to get.
If we get a weekend without Joe, it is always what's the project that we started and haven't finished. How much laundry can I get caught up on? What mile of
bricks do we have to lay?
We might go eat dinner somewhere, but then we're taking a Sam's Club trip and stocking up the house for the next 6 months. It's
always that, yeah. But I enjoy it.
I mean, I was about to say I enjoy it. I love going to Sam's Club.
I know. We've said the word Sam's Club during this podcast episode like probably 12 times already.
You might have.
Yeah. So that's I don't understand those people.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Sorry, that was my little rant.
It's all good. Rant on, baby. Rant on. Real quick, before we go into the next topic, you mentioned The Bachelor a while ago. Where are we at with that?
So we are, we're caught up.
In the thick of it.
I mean, it's pretty much, he just did the hometowns. So there's three.
The hometowns. That was such kind of a lame episode, though.
Yeah, kind of. But there's 3 left. And then tomorrow night will be the finale.
Yeah, it's not. They do one more after that, don't they? Because they got 3 people.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Or it'll be like a 2-hour thing, maybe?
Probably.
I don't know. Who knows? Somebody tell
us.
There's
either 1 or 2 more episodes. And then like in a couple weeks later, they'll do like a tell-all and they'll have them all back on there. That's my favorite part.
Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious. Maria went home.
Yeah.
I've been watching all these TikToks and videos of people like entire restaurants full of people like watching the TVs.
Yeah.
And
college campuses,
and they're all just like, dun 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 dun. No, not Maria, not Rachel. And but anyway, it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I'm pretty head first into it.
I know, it's so funny to me, and I'm here
I literally listened to a podcast episode last night when I was working with Jesse Palmer as a special guest on some like Bachelor podcast, and I thought to myself, "Who am I? What decisions have I?
We think very highly of Jesse Palmer.
What decisions have I made along the way to bring me here to this point in my life?" But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that.
Okay.
So next, we had a question from a listener.
You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, we had a question from a listener. Let's read the question, but don't give anybody's name.
Yeah, I'm not.
Where'd it go? I can cut this out. It's fine.
Okay, cool. Okay. Maybe it was on the podcast notifications. That would make more sense.
It's a comment from Alyssa.
I know. Dude, why can I not find this? It was, I shared the podcast and she commented
on your page.
Straight up not on here. Didn't I screenshot and send it to you?
Yeah, but my phone's recording the video.
I mean, I don't need it. I can just look in my camera roll.
I don't know that you did or not. Yeah, when we were texting about what we should talk about. Wow. We should probably just get on with it.
Yeah. I don't know. It was something about
all right, I have to cut.
I know.
Here.
You're gonna have to cut. It had something to do with putting your faith in God, having a spouse that's in a what's the word I'm looking for? Dangerous job.
Occupation.
Yeah, because she has one too. Okay, so I can't find the exact comment, but we will
find it.
Yeah, we will find it. But we had somebody reach out and wanted us to talk about how I guess we and I deal with or handle having a spouse that is in a what's the word I'm looking for? I
don't know.
A dangerous job, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
She has a spouse that's in a dangerous job as well.
When we say dangerous job, we're not talking about like we're drug dealers or anything. I work in a job that is relatively related to law enforcement, and that's what I'll say.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like when you first took this job or applied for this job, when it completely caught me off guard because you did not tell me whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really as like scared or nervous about you doing the job at first. I feel like it's getting worse.
You think so?
I feel like it's getting worse for me.
Yeah.
Because one, you have more responsibility now.
Yeah, that's true.
You're in charge of a lot more.
Yep, that's also true.
There's I don't know, like over the past I guess it got worse once Joe was born because then in the nicest way.
For me too.
In the nicest way possible, there's more to lose.
Yeah.
Like it's not just if something happens, I lose a spouse, like my child loses their father.
Yeah. It's an extra added weight to it.
Yeah. But I still I have dreams sometimes, or if I'm like super anxious or something and I dwell on it too much, I just imagine like what would happen, how it would go down, like who would call me, who would show up to the door. Like
that's crazy.
I think about it a lot.
I mean, it's not crazy, but
because it's a possibility.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't try to mentally at least think about
desensitize a little bit to it.
Yeah, because if I didn't, and then that just happened one day, God forbid.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. In the beginning, I did not think about. This sounds so bad. When I decided to do this, I did not think one bit necessarily about how. It just wasn't on my radar about how it would affect you.
Yeah, clearly.
And it wasn't one of those things that's like, oh, I always wanted to do this. I grew up wanting to do this, and I've always wanted to be this. It was just a job that was hiring. Yeah. That's all it was. And I just didn't think at all about the danger aspect.
Yeah. It definitely comes with a lot of faith, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I have friends that I've talked to that don't have spouses that are in this field, and they're like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I would be worried sick. Like, how do you go to sleep at night? Like, how do you do the whole nighttime thing?
Yeah.
And
because I do work night shift.
And so. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I would be able to do it if I didn't have some Jesus.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, really, I just have to depend on him. And, I mean, me and Joe, like, we pray every night that, Daddy will come home in the morning, whatever.
Yeah, that's sweet. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. But
I would prefer to come home in the morning.
Yeah. It just... I mean, it's just hard. Yeah. It's not going to be easy. It's not ever going to be easy, I don't think. Yeah. But I think I do. I mean, I can go to bed at night with peace about it. I'm not like worrying 24/7. I feel like it just kind of comes in waves, like or if I talk to you at work and you're like, I got to go and just hang up the phone. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I try.
I really do try my best not to do that.
I know.
But sometimes it's just, sometimes like you more than, I mean, I don't know about other people, but you way more than me are okay with being on the phone and saying nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a little subplot thing, but I'm not that person.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll be at work and she'll call and you would think it's like that Lone Star. Like, I just want to lie awake just to hear. I want to call.
That is not Lone Star.
Who is it?
That's Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. But Lone Star did a version of it, didn't they?
You're talking about,
what's the Lone Star
I'm already there.
Oh, yeah. I guess I'm thinking about the wrong song.
No.
Just want to call you up, not say anything, and just hear you breathing.
Shut up. You're a wolf.
But anyway, that we do that quite a bit.
It's mainly if I'm driving.
So but the point I'm getting at is what you say you don't like to hear is statistically way more probable to happen if we do that. So maybe we curb that part down a little bit. Like when we say everything that we need to say, love you, dear.
Hush.
I'll see you in a little while later.
Hush.
I'll call you back here in just a little bit. Or like the voice chat thing.
I hate
she
that.
hates it, but it works so good for me in my dangerous job.
And I use it. Even though I don't like it, I use it.
Very rarely.
I've used it
But you
more.
can see the benefit of it.
No.
Yeah. Because I'm constantly have people calling me and texting me and
I get it. Just leave it there.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I have a dangerous job and it's not really that big of a deal. But
it's so weird to me, especially like I have friends whose husbands are firefighters.
Yeah.
And they
what a bunch of guys,
But
the real men.
But sometimes they tell me like I don't know how you do it, and I'm like, well, I don't really know how y'all do it either because I mean, you don't run into a burning building.
we can.
I mean, I do feel
I haven't had the opportunity yet.
I do feel like we're
definitely going to get there first.
You in general deal with a lot more possibility of harm on just day to day.
That's true.
But when like firefighters'
job is more statistically dangerous, I think.
I mean when it's happening,
on a more frequent basis.
They have way more downtime than y'all do.
Yeah,
they don't.
That's fact.
They don't.
Big facts.
Answer calls 24/7.
Yeah, they don't ride around in the fire truck looking for fires.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean what they do is not dangerous.
No. I completely respect what they do, and I would not want to do it myself.
Yeah,
and I know guys.
Weird.
I know guys who do what I do, who have left that and gone to be firefighters.
Yeah,
or EMS workers, or different things like that. And I want nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah, I
just want to see them. Mm-hmm. When I need them.
Yeah.
Because I just do not have a calling to be a part of that. So I guess, let me ask you this. Since the question was raised by the listener about how you kind of deal with it and how you handle it. So what is your, when you say you have that moment where I'm on the phone with you and I say, I gotta go, love you, bye. and then I hang up the phone, which, like I said, I try not to do that, but it happens. When you hang up the phone, what is your coping mechanism with that? How do you deal with that? Or say it's 5 o'clock, Joe's running around, just woke up from a nap not too long before. That's what happens. What do you do when the phone hangs up?
Usually I'll dwell in it for a minute. I know I shouldn't.
Swim in it. You swim in it.
Yeah, I just dive right in.
Yeah. Joanna, get in here. We gotta pray.
No, that's not.
We gotta pray for your daddy.
No, it's more so I dwell on it for probably longer than I should. I run through like worst case scenario, what's gonna happen. And then this is bad too. I try to think of all the people that you work with.
Yeah.
And who's gonna call me. And then I'm like, also because you work generally most of the time in the area that we live, so I'm like,
yeah,
who's gonna pull in the driveway?
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
and
I
also,
can't do
like,
that.
you have my location and stuff, so you can see where I'm at.
I know, and I do watch it when you're at work sometimes.
I have no doubt of that.
A lot, actually.
I have no doubt of that.
But I usually have to like shake that off and be like, that the odds of that happening are not that high. Like, and then I have to tell myself, you do have backup. You do have good guys.
Yeah. I work with a lot of good guys. Good folks.
And then I just usually like pray, or I'll like pull my Bible out for a second, or I'll just immediately like cut on some kind of music. Yeah. Usually worship, praise music, whatever, just to like change my thought process, mindset kind of deal.
Yeah. Just to kind of not get your mind off of it, but to help you kind of get into a different mindset about it.
Because if I dwell in that,
because you know that at the end of the day, the only thing that you can do is just trust God with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's literally nothing I can do. And it's no different than people who are in the military and overseas. Like, their spouses are helpless at home. Like, there is nothing they can do.
Yeah.
So, you really do have to rely on God and your faith. And, I mean, I don't know how people who don't have faith or don't believe, I don't know how they deal with day-to-day life. I would just be I'd be a wreck.
Yeah, as Joe would say, a hot mess.
Yeah.
A hot mess. Yeah, I think you definitely have to have a level of faith that is really strong. Yeah. I don't know, because I'm not here and I'm the one that you're having faith about. I guess it's a fear that you think of as to how, if the role were switched, I think my biggest fear would be, if she doesn't come home, how am I going to do both of our jobs?
Yeah.
How am I going to how can I do that? I can't.
Yeah.
I legit cannot. Whether Joe's 16 or 6 months, I just can't. Now, there's some stages that would probably be a little bit easier but overall, it's just impossible to do the job of a mother and a father. Yeah. And that's scary.
But people do it every day.
People do it every day, and they make it work. So I guess it is possible, and we would need to ask those people how they did it. Yeah. But it's really terrible that people don't come home. Mm. Especially, I think about people in the military, and how that whole ordeal. And sometimes it's not that they don't come home; it's that they do come home, and that leads to them, something bad happening later because they weren't took care of or whatever. I think our country needs to do a way, 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 way better job of taking care of those types of people, whether it's soldiers or
first responders
who have been through traumatic experiences. See a lot. You do, and it becomes normal, and then you go home and
that's not
not normal. Yeah.
And you have to.
I mean, you and I have had conversations and experiences over the past since I started doing it, and we've had some interesting times.
Yeah.
But I think you have to have, for starters, well, you don't have to because not everybody has someone that they love that they can share stuff with. But I think you have to have that in your corner as your first line of defense against fear.
Well, I just think having a spouse or a significant
who is
supportive and that you can dump that load on.
Because if when I asked you or told you about this and you would have been like, absolutely not, I would have canned it. Because I would not have done that if you were not okay with it.
Yeah. Sometimes I think on it and
you're
I'm
like, dang, I should have did that.
What would have happened if I was like, I don't want you to do this.
Yeah.
But I knew it was like somewhat of a dream because at one point growing up, you tried to get in the military or something and that didn't work out. So I knew that serving
in some way
was
that's true.
Part of your dream. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be the one that crushes that.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just have to choke back my fears, I guess.
You've been a trooper, though.
Yeah.
Just not a state trooper.
I don't want to be.
Me neither.
I don't really like them. They're okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's a whole ordeal. So thank you for that question. Hopefully that
I probably didn't answer it, but
I
don't remember what
we don't really know how we deal with it yet. I mean, we just kind of
we're just in it.
We're just in it. We're only 4 years in, coming up on 4 years in November.
Yeah,
we're only 4 years into that, and there's so many people.
But I just feel like, and I guess another part of it is I feel like you've climbed the ladder in 4 years. Not, I mean, you ain't climbed the whole ladder, but
no, I'm still at the bottom of the ladder. People's boots are on top of my head.
Yeah, but in this current moment, I feel like you're carrying the ladder. You're not going up the ladder.
Too much detail about that, but I'm currently in my audition for some higher things.
An audition is a good word for
audition is what I call it. It's what makes me feel not as bad about it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I hope that at least somewhat answered that question, and we appreciate that question. Anybody else who has any questions?
I totally thought the way you just said that, I thought you were trying to be like anybody else.
Anybody else out there going to say anything through the computer screen? That
I was like, what is he doing there?
There ain't nobody else. It's just us. That's funny. So we're still contemplating getting a dog.
Yep.
I know, but we're still contemplating it and working through some things on it, trying to figure that out.
We're making progress.
We're making progress.
It's like you take one step forward and 2 steps back.
Yeah, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But we're getting there. What else? We were going to talk about food.
Your favorite topic.
I love food. I love food so much. So one of the things that I hear sometimes, or I won't say a lot, but I hear from families like us is how much of a struggle it is to figure out food for your family. Not like how to get it. I'm just saying, I'm talking about like
the meals.
Yeah, developing a system for your household.
I hate it.
Meal-wise.
Like, it makes me want to bang my head against this wall. I hate it. And it's crazy because we both can cook.
Yeah, I love to cook.
For the most part, we try. I mean, we're not super strict. Like, have the calendar. This is what we're eating every single night of the week. Though. We've tried it. That's not quite us.
It's not our DNA.
But we do generally... Like on our monthly board, I will write out a couple different
at least
meals.
Like 2 or 3 meals that you want to do.
Either that we want or that I know that I already have the stuff to make and that don't require me to get anything else. Yeah. But I just, and everything until the day changes where you're on day shift, night shift is going to be the thorn in my side.
Yeah. So it makes everything hard.
It does. So... Y'all will know when that time comes because...
Will they?
Yeah. Because I'm going to talk about it.
Oh, talk about what?
When the day comes that you go to day shift.
Okay.
Because then I won't make all these snarky comments about you being on night shift.
That is true.
But meals would be so much easier if I knew you were going to be home every evening. It's not the same time, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to plan meals and to cook. The problem is I hate cooking when you're not here because I'm like, me and Joe can just eat a bowl of cereal. But then I'm like, no, she needs a nutritious meal. I got to step it up.
Yeah. And then you feel bad and you're like, gosh, I need to make her something good. Yeah.
And then I'm like, but it is a waste because we are not leftover people.
Yeah, I know we're not. And I want to be. I would say I am more than you.
I am if it's overall, something that I really love.
Overall, we're not.
Like I made chicken noodle or chicken whatever.
Yeah.
Like just a couple days ago. And we had a bunch of it left. And we were like, oh, we can eat on this for the next couple days. We haven't even touched it.
Yeah.
Now it's like 4 days old.
That's not quite how I recall that conversation going.
I mean, it was more like you said, I'm going to eat on this, and then you never did. And
No.
Do you know what I threw away?
What you said
yesterday morning?
But let me tell you what you said first.
Okay, what did I say?
What you said was, did you put that chicken noodle stuff in a bowl? Because it was still in the crock pot. And I said, yeah, I'm fixing to. And then you said, I said, you want me to put this in a bowl? And you said, are you going to eat it? Because I ain't.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't as good this time.
Yeah, it was a little different.
Because I used too much chicken.
Yeah.
But, so that's why I was like, I'm probably not going to eat again. But if you're going to eat it, go right ahead. But you put it in a bowl, still didn't eat it. That is the story of our life.
Never touched it.
Yesterday morning, I was cleaning up the kitchen, cleaning out the refrigerator. I threw away a bag of, what were those things from like last Sunday?
Ew.
The bacon wrapped.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Bacon
bag
wrap
of those.
Poppers.
There was a bag of chicken wings still in there that you had smoked from the other Sunday.
But I did eat those like 3 times. I did.
I don't know. That bag said otherwise. But
that was a lot of chicken wings, bro.
But I want to, and I feel like we do try because we put it in containers.
Yeah.
And we put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then I either don't want it the next day or I forget about it.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's so hard.
And I see people on Facebook and TikTok and showing their reels with their family schedule. Like, today's Thursday, Meatloaf Thursday. And like,
and we could do that if you were home every night.
That's true. We could. But also at the same time, we are people who do not work well in the confinements of something like that.
Yeah, because we'll be like, I don't want that. Let's
Thursday,
just go get somewhere.
And we're going to be like, oh, yay, it's Meatloaf Thursday.
Let's just go get a steak at Wichita.
Yeah, that's the struggle, y'all. It gets...
Because there are days, even if you have a plan where something doesn't go right and your whole day is just shot and you're tired and you're exhausted and you're like, I'm not doing this. Sorry, that was really loud. I don't like this table. But it's like, by the time you get home, you're like, no.
Yeah.
Because I've had, like, last week or the week before, I didn't have it, like, it was laid out in my head of what I was going to cook while you were at work for me and Joe. By the time we got home, it's daggum 7:30. I don't want to cook at 7:30. She's supposed to go to bed at 8.
I agree.
So then she ate a sandwich and I ate a bowl of cereal and we called it a night.
If I'm cooking something, I've got to prep it.
And that is another problem is...
I need an hour almost to prep the meal. And then I can sit down and relax. That way when it's time to cook, everything's ready. It's portioned out. It's all good to go. You just whip it up.
Yep. And you could do that if when your first off day,
bless her Lord,
you didn't wake up and half the day was over with.
That's true. That is true. I seen a video of this one family. I don't remember what the video is. If I can find it, I'll probably repost it or something. they had their big dry erase board, and all the kids like ran into the kitchen, and they're like, the mom is like overlaying audio over it, and she's like, "This is just a video of how we do our weekly routine." And the kids were going in there, and they were like looking at the schedule, and it was like spaghetti night and blah, 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 and it's just so wonderful. And I was just like, man, I get it, but I don't get it. I just feel like it won't work. It can't work.
I would, when Joe gets older, I would like to be able to sit down on like Sunday evening and look at the week and be like, okay, Joe, pick one night this week and tell me what you want.
Yeah. And also, Joe doesn't really even eat half of the time. Like, if you make something really good, she'll pick over it.
Yeah.
But if you make something weird, she'll
eat it.
I mean, just destroy it. Like fried bologna. If you made a stack of fried bologna, it'd be gone. If you cooked ribeyes, she would chew it up and spit it out.
Yeah.
So, and I get it. She's doing, almost 3-year-old, but it just is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, food is difficult in the family at the house.
Okay, so were you growing up? Let me make sure I have this right because I can't remember what the other one was called. Growing up, were you a ingredient household, or were you what's the other word for it? I don't want to say a meal. It's
What you mean, bro?
So there's this thing on TikTok that talks about like two people were raised two different ways.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with having things that were ready to go to eat, or did you grow up in an ingredient household? Like an ingredient household would be, all right, so let me figure out what I can make. So Gracie can contest to this. If you got saltine crackers and you got shredded cheese, you have a snack. We were an ingredient household.
Ooh.
But then there's other households that are like, no, they have like they have things.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we grew up in somewhat of a both, because I'm not eating no shredded cheese and saltine crackers as a snack, bro. It's not happening. But as growing up, I could go in the kitchen and I could find a bag of chips and eat half the bag. Or I could go get a can of Pringles or whatever was in there, or a Star Crunch or stuff to snack on. But as far as meals are concerned, my mom, she made the spread, just about every night, until there was a certain portion when we got a little bit older, between the age of like 12 and say probably 16, 17, where she worked. She went back to work. And during that time, it was a little bit less like that. Like, we kind of had to not fend for ourselves, but like they made sure like all the groceries were there.
Yeah.
We just had to go in there and figure out what we could make out of the stuff that they bought.
So like, this is the video that I had seen, and I had sent it to Gracie, and this girl's talking about she grew up in an ingredient household, and like these were the snacks that she made, and she had tortilla chips and a bag of shredded cheese, and you pop it in the microwave and you have like nachos.
Oh my gosh.
And then another one was just a box of crackers.
That is some hard.
And then the other one is if you got eggs, you just scrambled eggs.
Now, I did do a lot of eggs. We got to the point where we cooked eggs in a microwave, bro.
Oh, we did that too.
And I bet you I ate 10,000 egg sandwiches in my childhood. Just thousands and thousands of egg sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. Yeah, no, I would say we probably both.
Okay, so then this is the opposite of an ingredient household. Like, there's always food.
That was us. Yeah, that was us.
See, we were
not an ingredient household.
We were an ingredient household, and the thing on TikTok is,
and you know why we
two
weren't?
People that get married, it's always split.
You know why we weren't?
Why?
Because my mama didn't want me or my brother digging through the cabinet and pulling stuff out and making stuff and dirtying things up. They wanted us to go in there and get something and leave with it. That's why.
Well, I guess because y'all were boys, but we were.
Because we made messes.
We were taught to fix it and then clean it up afterwards. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we had to.
Yeah, we did. We had to make do
and figure. Yeah, clearly.
We wasn't taught that second part.
But the like trend on TikTok is asking your spouse, like, did you have things or were you in an ingredient household? And everybody is always, one is one and one is the other. They never marry each other.
Opposites attract, you know?
But it's just so funny because there was never, and I feel like it's like that now.
Yeah.
We don't have like things to eat. You have to make something to eat. Yeah. We just buy all these ingredients and then hope
I'm not one who has a problem making something to eat.
Yeah, I do.
But you will walk in the kitchen, open the cabinet, and see 10 billion different ingredients and go,
we have nothing to eat.
We ain't got nothing to eat.
Because it's like if I can't envision it in my head, what I can pull together and make, I'm like, God, I got to go back to the store.
See, when I open the cabinet, I start thinking, oh, there's a can of green bean, or there's a can of cream of mushroom. Ooh, I wonder if we have any meat to put in the crock pot. Ooh, what can we do?
Well, I'm always that way. If I have cream of chicken and cream of mushroom, I can make anything.
That's a true story. That's all. That's the most Southern thing I've ever heard. That's hilarious.
But I don't know. That's also why it's hard for me to make a grocery list, because I feel like when we go to the grocery store, we spend all this money, but we never got everything. We didn't write out what this meal is and what we needed to make that meal. Yeah. We just write down a bunch of ingredients.
Yeah.
So we are an ingredient household,
I guess,
because we don't have like things that you just eat. We have to fix something at all points of time. And I think that's what drives me insane.
Yeah.
That's why the kitchen is never clean.
That's true. We do always have to fix something.
Always.
But see, we can't be the other kind. We can't be.
Yeah, because everything is full of preservatives.
That's what I'm saying. In a future episode, heck, maybe we can even do it next week. I don't know. But we need to have an episode that is fully devoted to you and your crunchiness. Because our house is governed by that, whether you want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
Our house is governed by the way that you feel about consuming goods.
Yeah.
And I've adapted to it and I'm fine with it. And there's still some things that I don't get down with.
You still be eating your cancer Cheetos.
Yeah, I eat my flaming hot Cheetos or whatever.
But you gotta feel for it.
Yeah, I did.
Scared you, didn't it?
It did scare me. I'll explain that maybe in that episode. But anyway, so yeah, food is difficult for families and to figure it out. So if you guys are listening and you have a system that works for you,
or just send us a recipe.
Yeah, either that but I'm curious as to like how y'all do family food for dinners and meals and stuff. Do you plan it out or do you just make it up, or how does that work for y'all? I think
because I grew up in an ingredient household is part of the reason why I don't need a meat and 2 sides of vegetable and a bread to have dinner. I'm not that person. I'm like, let's just eat a bowl of cereal, or let's just cook a frozen pizza, or make a salad, or I don't need like all the things for dinner.
Yeah.
But I feel like men are different.
No, not me. I want one thing. That's it.
Yes, but you want it to be so extra.
Yeah, it has to be.
Like, you can't just eat a bowl of cereal.
Like
you have to cut up a banana and put sugar on top of it. And
that's true. But if it's something that you like, though, tell me that's not your favorite aspect about me in the kitchen.
No, I do.
Like that salad.
Like when I want a salad, it's always to the T.
To the T?
It doesn't mean it don't aggravate me at how long it takes you to just put lettuce in a bowl.
But that anticipation builds. And when you get it, you're like,
okay.
That's my man.
Oh, my God. No, you're ridiculous.
So anyway, that's that. Let's talk about our new chairs.
Oh, okay.
Or were we not done?
I didn't think we were done.
Oh.
I want to know. This is the only one that we talked about that we remember. But I want to know if other people have things that their parents say or that their grandparents say that don't make any sense. Like so Kendall's dad has this thing where, and I still don't know which one he's talking about.
Apparently, this is a his generation thing.
It is. So what do y'all have to tell us things from your parents or grandparents' generation that make no sense, but they understand it and nobody else does? Because Kendall's dad, if you ask him, say, when's your next doctor's appointment? His answer will be Tuesday week.
And apparently that means...
What does that mean?
Like next Tuesday?
So,
which is how normal people say it. But he'll say, "Oh, it's Tuesday week," and I'll be like, "You mean next Tuesday?" And this infuriates me. He'll say,
"No,
Tuesday week."
And I'm like, "So is that this coming Tuesday or is it next Tuesday?"
And
Tuesday week.
And then he'll say, "Tuesday week," and I'm like, "Yep." Saying it 3 times, the same thing still doesn't explain it. You know,
and that's
another thing that generation does.
They just keep saying
the same thing, expecting you to understand it. Nope, not how that works. Not how it works.
And I don't know why that drives me insane.
Oh man, dude, it boils my blood. It really does. But I've never understood that. My dad always be like, "Monday week, yeah, Monday week coming."
I'm like, no,
it's called next Monday, bro. This is the English language. You know?
I just don't understand. And I know that there's like a gazillion more out there.
Yeah.
And I know we've even talked about them, but we just can't recall any of them. Yeah. We've been trying to figure it out all day.
Yeah.
So if y'all have any that you know,
if you've
things
got
that your parents
funny,
or your
maybe we'll try and think
say,
of some more for next week.
Yeah.
Things and let us know so maybe we can say
maybe
some
it'll
of y'all's.
Spark something.
Maybe we can say some of y'all's too. And that'll be funny, I think.
Yeah, that'll definitely be funny.
Yeah, and then there's also some things that your parents said growing up that you didn't really understand then, but you understand now.
Like what?
So my dad always said this thing growing up, and I'm telling you, it used to just boil my blood because he said it all the friggin' time. And my dad's very, very, very handy. He's very good at fixing things on his own, and he's very good at figuring out how to fix something on his own without asking someone.
Yeah, and that usually means
now, granted,
that it won't
if you're
pass
waiting
inspection.
on that thing to be fixed, it's going to be a while because he's going to take his sweet time learning how to fix it, and he's going to be able to explain every part in it before it's done. But anything we used to do, another thing on a side note, growing up, my dad would say, "We got to get this done," or "We got to get that done. We got to get this done. We got to get them leaves up in the yard. We got to get the grass cut." What he meant by "we" was me. That's what he meant. That always just made me mad too. But anyway, he would say, "Son," excuse me, let me get in his voice. He would say,
"Oh gosh,
son, if you ain't got the tools, you can't do the job." And when I tell you, he would say that every single time.
Every single one of your friends.
I'm talking
know that
about
phrase.
Every repaired toilet, every squeaky drawer, every screw, every anything, every nail, every anything that we had broke that had to be fixed. And my dad would be like, you got that or whatever, and I would be like, where's your toolbox, or where's this at? And he'd say, "Son, if you ain't got the tools, you can't do the job." And God forbid I leave something out, because it was normally always my job to go grab the tools while he was like prepping the whatever. And I would go grab the stuff, and obviously, as a young kid, I'm going to forget things. And he took every opportunity that I forgot something to let me know. "Son, if If you ain't got the tools, you can't do the job.
And it's so funny because now you say that all the time, and also all of your friends have adapted that saying, and they all know that it comes from Wayne Knight.
And it's funny, but it is so true because we have things, just like in a house and stuff that I see now that, I mean, as annoying as that was, he was 1,000% right.
Yeah.
If you don't have the tools, I mean, just like we moved in our new house. Obviously there's like weird odd and end things that like you didn't see when you bought it or whatever. So like in our bedroom, the toilet seat, there's like 2 little plastic screw cap things underneath the bottom of it that hold it on. One of them was missing. You could have hired $1 million inspector, would have never found that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have anything like that laying around, and I guarantee you, if you go to my dad's house right now,
he's got 6.
He's got. Yes.
Whatever it is, he has 6 of them.
Whatever it is, he's got 6 of it. So
that's another thing. Why is it that generation cannot let you leave
without giving you something?
Without giving you something that is completely pointless. The other day, when I went to get Joe, he said, "You think y'all need one of these?" And I didn't even want to turn around. It was a red Champion duffel bag. I was like, "No, we've got plenty, honestly." And he was like, "Well,
sure?
I mean, are you sure? I didn't pay but $2.50 for it at the auction." And I was like, "No, we're good. I mean, we don't really have anywhere to put it."
In his mind, he's like, "Well, darn, I really don't need it either."
You know what I said?
Thought they were going to use it.
You know what I said? I said, "You should call Brandon. He might need it on the road."
My brother's name is Brandon.
He said, "Yeah, I guess I could do that." But he sounded defeated, like he already knows Brandon's about to
he knows he ain't going to. Shelly ain't finna let that happen.
I said, "I got to give this to somebody else. We're not taking this home."
Yeah, that's funny. So what are some funny things that y'all's parents do or have done that really get under your skin? Or some things that they used to do that got under your skin that now you really understand was beneficial for you? Yeah. I'm curious to know some of those stuff for next week or a future week.
Yep.
Boy, that's a funny topic. We need to prepare a little bit more for that and then revisit that for sure.
What? For which one?
All of that part. Because I've got some list of things that I need to think about.
Yeah, we'll have to really get that together.
I didn't know that we were actually going to do that part just now.
Oh, I don't know. It just kind of came to me.
So let's talk about our chairs, our new chairs.
Okay. So the way we came about with these chairs is crazy. So we have been on the hunt for 2 chairs for this studio since we started this whole ordeal.
Since we decided to do that.
And I had several picked out on Amazon. They're all in my cart. I just couldn't pull the trigger on it because my gut just does not want me to spend like $200 on chairs.
So expensive.
Yeah. And even like some of them were like $300. And I love them, but I don't love them that much.
Yeah, and they're pretty, but
And so we've just been, they're in the cart.
We've been mentally defeated over it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
They've been sitting in our cart, but we're just kind of like, you know what? We got till week 20. If something else doesn't come along by then, we'll pull the trigger.
We got 10 more episodes.
We got 10 more weeks.
We're only halfway there.
Yeah. So the other night I was on Facebook and this reel popped up. My cousin's wife actually, she posted this day in the life of her life basically.
Sure. I mean, she's a
content creator.
Yeah, she's a content creator.
Yeah,
I don't think she would mind you using her name.
No. Her name is Michaela Blue. Her husband is an evangelist. And they live close to us actually. And so I was watching her TikTok, her reel, and she, I don't know what all she did that day, but she
was like thrifting or something, right?
Yeah, I think she got her hair done and whatever. So then
you said a day in the life. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So she went into Goodwill and basically was like, I didn't really see anything. I did happen to find these 2 chairs. They were at a great price, and she like zoomed in on the chair. It said $32.99, and then I mean that was it. It was like
it was quick,
half a second, and I said, "Wait, what?" And so I like rewinded, paused, or hit play, paused, and then like screenshotted the best I could because it was so quick.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Kendall and was like, I just found 2 chairs for $32.
And I was like, what?
And he was like, where are these at? And I said, they're at Goodwill in Camden. Like, that's like right down the road.
Yeah.
And it was that night, so it was too late. And he had to work the next day, and it was raining, and I had to work.
Yeah.
And I texted my mom, and I said, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? And she was like, why? I said, look, I found these 2 chairs, and they're at Goodwill in Camden, but I need you to go like look at them, check them out, and then like buy them for me, and I'll give you the money when I see you. And she said, well, I don't really know if I'm going there, and how did you find them? And I said, you're not really going to understand it, but I just saw it on a TikTok.
Long story. It's a long story.
And she said, okay. She didn't end up going. You get up before you go to work, and you like hightail it to Goodwill in Camden, hoping that these 2 chairs are still there. And you got them and put them in the car and brought them back. And they're like brand new, have never been used.
Pretty well brand new. Yeah, there's
not even a mark on them or nothing.
Scratch or anything.
And it's not exactly to the T what I was wanting, but
they're comfy though. I mean, we've been sitting in them for an hour now, so
yeah, they are comfy. And for $32,
yeah, you can't beat that.
You can't beat that because these 2 chairs are probably $300 on Amazon right now.
Probably so. Yeah.
So I was like, yes, that is a win in my book. So Michaela, when you listen to this, keep doing your thing, girl.
That's right.
Because you're saving people money.
I don't
here.
really know y'all, but as with most of Haley's family, because she's related to half of the population in the country.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, and you have saved me much heartache and much money and through this battle over these chairs. So thank you. We appreciate that. We're gonna put get a little. What is the thing when people like donate to a school or something? They put like a brick in the walkway or something, or they put like a little thing over the door of a building. Yeah. We're gonna put something on our chairs behind it, with their name on it, and contributed by such and such, Michaela.
Oh my gosh, you're so dramatic.
But that's funny. We appreciate it. Speaking of TikTok, I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but the TikTok account is doing really well. We've been pushing out shorts on there. What is the followers at now on that?
I am pulling it up.
She's pulling it up now. It's probably going to have some loud noise.
No, it's muted. We have 153 followers.
153 followers. That's insane. We appreciate that, and thank you guys who have been following the TikTok. We've been posting all kinds of stuff on there, enjoying it, having a blast doing it, and we've reached 10 episodes. So like I said a minute ago, we're halfway there. Also, the Facebook page has been doing well. We've kind of just been cycling through the TikTok page and the Facebook page. Mm-hmm. That's about all I can handle at the moment.
I know. I've been debating on whether you need to do an Instagram page.
If you're debating on it, you need to do it.
No, if you do the Instagram page, it'll just be linked to Facebook. So if you post it, it automatically goes to both.
Yeah, but will it go to my page though?
It will go to our page.
Huh.
It's just like when I post from my business Instagram, it goes to my business Facebook page.
Interesting.
You'll have to look at it.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, the Facebook page has been doing good. TikTok's been doing good. We appreciate all you guys who have been following that. We really thank you. 10 episodes has been, what is that? A little over 2 months? That's 2.5 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 2.5 months we've been doing this. So in order to be able to say that we have 150 something people who give a flying rip about
and that's
this
on TikTok. What is it on Facebook?
I don't know. I don't know what Facebook is. But it's really been overwhelming so far, just seeing the amount of people who are interested and commenting and messaging us. And we've even been in a couple of things out with friends and family. I'm not saying that we go to the store and people are like, oh, but some family have been.
It always makes me feel weird.
It makes you feel
bring
weird.
it up. I'm like
we had it happen today at a family gathering thing. They were
I was with my grandparents.
Yeah, they were like,
they don't know.
So tell them about your podcast. I heard about your podcast.
And they're like, what's a podcast?
Yes.
I don't want to do this right now. They're like, what do you talk about?
Yeah, what kind of stuff do you talk about? I'm like, just kind of like everything.
Everyday life, parenting, faith. And they're like, oh, you talk about your faith.
It's so great. I'm so glad. But yeah, that's
so cringy.
That's going to take a lot of getting used to.
Yeah.
But like I said before, we really appreciate you guys and very grateful. And we are halfway to being where we're going to do video. We are testing it out now with our new kind of studio look and setup. I'm kind of getting practicing all the editing and stuff because I'm going to be doing all of that. But yeah, things are going well, and God is good. And yeah. Okay, Lord mercy, I can't believe I forgot that. So real quick, a couple people. I'm actually using my iPhone to record right now, so I can't necessarily see some of the things that I was going to look at on my phone to call out. But we've got some friends who are starting their own podcast really soon.
Starts Monday.
Yeah, you got it in front of you, and I don't want to miss any details, so why don't you take over from there?
So, their podcast is called the Boss Table Podcast. It's Vince and Marley. They go to our church.
Yeah.
He's the associate pastor.
Yeah.
But they are starting a podcast, and the first episode drops Monday.
Which will be the same day.
Ours is always
episode drops. So their episode will be out by the time this comes out.
Technically before ours. Yeah, so if y'all hear this, then go back and listen to their first episode.
Go look them up. They're on Apple and Spotify, or they will be by the time you hear this.
Yeah. But they are
super great folks. I've been talking to Vince a little bit since yesterday, but by the time you hear this, it'll be a few days in the past.
Yeah.
But I've been talking to Vince about podcasting, and such a cool guy, and I think what they're doing is super.
Yeah, their goal is to encourage people to connect church to home, basically, like bring church to the table.
Because there is a gap there.
What? Oh yeah.
There's a huge there's a huge gap.
I was like, where?
But people's church life and then their home life, a lot of times, is two completely separate things. So I feel like that they have a unique perspective on it, and they're going to be super fun to listen to and help learn and grow. And
I think it's going to help me a lot.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, especially since I know somebody now who has a podcast and that's not us.
Yeah.
And I want to listen to them and support them. So if you guys are out there, go over to your Apple Podcast or your Spotify, whichever one you listen to, and follow the Boss Table Podcast. How do they spell boss?
It's BOS.
Just BOS, the Boss Table. What's their cool line? I talked to Vince about it last night, but my phone's being used right now. Yeah.
Is it in that message?
Yeah. It's something at the table.
Hang on. It's I don't know. You know where it's
Let me see here. I can't find it. I don't know what it said on here. I'll find it, or you'll hear it when you listen to them. But it's something about pull up a seat at the table or something like that.
Yeah, and they're doing it from their kitchen table.
Yeah, they're doing it from their kitchen table.
I think that's so
super cool. So anyway, looking forward to that. Super excited for y'all, Vince and Marley. What else, dear? Who else? Anything else? Somebody reached out to us today about doing a collaboration, meaning like a kind of like invite to be on their podcast for an episode. Mm-hmm. I don't really know the logistics of it, but the lady, I looked at her podcast and kind of listened to it for a few minutes, and it's like a marriage, faith oriented kind of ordeal. She's like a marriage coach thing or something. I would imagine it would consist of a good bit of questions and stuff. I don't really know what it all entails. But that was interesting to have someone ask that.
Yeah. And just a thank you to like our friends and family and even people that we're meeting through this that are like sharing our stuff and being supportive and help giving us feedback and
and if there's anything that you guys think we can make better or do better, or if you have any ideas for us that you would like, things that you would like to hear us talk about or hear our thoughts on, or just answers to any questions that we may have asked y'all in the previous episodes. Because one thing I've noticed looking at the stats, babe, is that people are going back, or people are finding the podcast and starting at the beginning. So like, say one day an episode gets 20 downloads. Mm-hmm. If you look at all of the episodes, that same day, like 3 or 4 previous episodes will have like 10 or 15. And then, like the first or second episode will have 4 or 5. So like people are kind of finding the podcast and starting from the beginning and working their way up. And you can see that in the way they have it laid out. And that's pretty cool to just see and know that people are actually like catching up and getting here. So if you are caught up, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I reckon
I didn't think that there would be as many people as
it's really weird
that actually
to know that people are actually listening.
It's cool.
Yeah. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. And I'm really excited that we're kind of got our room set up a little bit better now. It's much more comfy.
It is.
So with that being said, what else you got? Anything?
That's it.
All right. You ready to go to bed?
Yep.
Tired?
Yep.
She's yawning. Let it out, dear.
I'm trying.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We will see you in episode 11 next week.